All right, good morning. Day number 4. Oh, my back is killing me. Too old for this. Anyway, I'm gonna run to the hardware store first. I need to get some nuts and bolts to put my truck box back on. It's there, it's just not bolted in. I had to cut the bolts out, so oh well. I'm gonna run down, I'll be back, and then So the minimum grade industry for strength of these bolts are 8 to 8.8, which is like what I said. I'm gonna have to order, and I'm gonna redo these bolts anyway. I want a minimum strength of grade 10 or 12, and that's going according to the US versions. There's not enough data to support it. Now, I also know that for the past 10 years I've been driving this with a 1-inch body lift. This truck mostly goes on sand and very light off-roading. Now, as far as freeway driving, we are not like the mainland. We seldom everly go above 60, 65 miles an hour, at least for me, at least in this truck. Now, in my GTR, that's a whole different story. I'm not gonna film that. So being that the truck does only go under a certain mile per hour, and I am switching out to a different tensile strength of the bolts, it's relatively safe in my opinion. So I do believe that this is a safe thing. Anyway, time to get back on this, the main reason I'm doing this, because I can. Okay, let me grab my paper, see where I left off. All right, so I left off, this was the trailer hitch. I'm not gonna touch the trailer hitch, remember? You would have inserted this bracket. I'm not gonna do that. More stuff's on the trailer hitch. Not gonna do that. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna tackle the fuel filler line thingy. Fuel filler, fuel filler, fuel filler. Wind is blowing. And then I need the brackets for the parking brake, fuel line, fuel line. Fuel line. Okay, time to tackle the, what did I say? Fuel filler. Okay, let me show you guys what I got planned for that. I took off the fender flare so you can see a little easier. Behind here, I don't know if you guys can see with the sunlight. Behind here, right there. Oh, poor lighting. Sorry. Maybe I can grab a flashlight. Okay. This is the bracket on the frame for the fuel filler. What I need to do is push this up, and that'll make everything align perfectly on the gas cap. So there's about a little gap there. I need to make a Z bracket for that. I'm gonna make a bracket for the fuel filler, and that should take care of that problem, proving that a 2-inch body lift, you do not need to cut the fuel lines. I can get away with extending the power steering lines, and I'll show you guys how to do that also. So let me check the parts list and see what I can use. I'm not gonna do the fuel filler. I'm gonna do what the instructions say first, because I want to see what kind of brackets I'm gonna use. This is very confusing. Here's a layout of all the brackets. So here's a layout of everything that I have here that was in the packaging. I think these are the ones I'm not gonna use. Instructions really suck. Use what? Quarter by 1. What does that mean? 1/4-inch stick by 1-inch stick? Nope. I tried measuring these things. This is 3 inches. But I think the 1-inch they're referring to is the length of the bolt. Yeah, I think so. So it looks like it's the straight bracket with the what? It's all bracket on the driver's side. Oh, 3-inch. There you go. I gotta learn how to read. Okay, so this is 3-inch. The bolt itself is 1-inch. So I think that's what will work. and I went underneath the truck and this is what I found. So there's two pictures. It doesn't say if it's A or B. How are you supposed to know? Oh, okay, so underneath the truck, if we look at the instructions, I mean, you got to kind of be able to figure this out on your own. Then that's where some critical thinking comes into play. It looks like the bracket goes behind, and the factory nut is used. So, oh my God, the wind is crazy today. So this is how the factory nut bracket system went. It went in the front here, okay? They want you to use the factory nut. Now normally a nut goes here because there's a bolt goes here because the welded nut is on the back side. They want you to reverse it and somehow balance it on the nut in the back like that, and bolt it in, and then use the factory bolt with the nylon washer and bolt, whatever. Okay, let me fight with this. I'll be back. I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so this is what it looks like. I don't know if I can get my camera up there. Okay, so I suspect everything is going to be hard. Not hard, but just kind of awkward like that. So, my neck. Trying to tighten those things in such a cramped area is gonna be fun. So let me fight with this. I'll be back. The other L bracket I think goes up here. And that's for the fuel line. So let me take care of all of that. It would help big time if you guys clean your truck first. You should see how much sand and junk is falling on my face right now. It's tastes good. All right, okay. I found some interesting things I thought I'd share with you guys, so let me go underneath the truck. All right, let's see where I left off. The first thing I was supposed to do was the brake relocation for the driver and passenger. That came out sort of okay. They did, however, want me to flip this bracket to the inside, but I did not. It came out a lot better this way. Okay, let's see. Next, they want you to install this bracket for the fuel line and this Z bracket for the fuel line. The Z bracket I had to bend a lot. It's like a bent more of a Z, and the C bracket was supposed to have gone here. Okay, I mean, that's relatively okay. Let's see, next. Sorry. Okay, so the next step is to use another Z bracket for the brake line. This one. But okay, so they want you to put this Z bracket here. Okay, you see something kind of weird? If I put the Z bracket here, I'm gonna pull this brake system off of the truck, but it's already factory mounted. Why the hell am I gonna pull it away? Everything is factory mounted. It's good. It's perfect. So I'm not gonna do that. That doesn't make sense. Okay, okay, so I'm gonna skip this step. It just doesn't make sense. Then it says to use another Z bracket for this part, and that's in the engine bay. What's next? Oh, that's the interior. Okay, so I am not gonna do that either. I'll show you a better means of doing this, and this is all from Daryl, who has already done this. Okay, so here's the brake bracket, the brake line. All I did was pull down a little on this. You just wiggle it, you kind of wiggle it, pull, wiggle it, pull, and you can bolt it right back in. And it's totally fine. It's 100% good. Why would they tell you? I don't know why they told me to do that. But I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna do what Daryl said. Just rebolt it back in. Just wiggle and pull a little. 2 inches means that each coil only gets stretched, only gets moved a quarter of an inch. Quarter, quarter, 50, quarter, 3/4, quarter, you know. And it's perfect. It's damn perfect. So I'm gonna do that to both sides. Now, they didn't even give me enough Z brackets. This is bigger than what I needed. This is like this is about a 3-inch Z bracket. The other ones are about 2 inches. So that's not gonna work. Okay, let me check the instructions and see what it says next. And let me show you the passenger side. There we go, everything is perfect. Now I didn't do hardly anything to these coils. It only came down maybe, like I said, about a 1/4 inch spacing more between each one. This was already here. This only came down about a 1/4 and it bolted right up. There was no tension on it. I just pulled down a little and shook it like that and it is perfect. Okay, let's see what's next. So I'm gonna skip that step. I did the thing that I showed you guys. Skip that. Page 20. Haha, almost done. Okay, now we gotta put back the interior. I did all that. Put back the interior. I did all that. I guess now we're gonna start coming to the engine bay. Put back the interior. I did all of that. I did put back all the interior. Okay, now here's a problem. The shifter is fine. It's only, do you want you to cut the damn shifter in half and re-weld it? No, I don't think so. So the factory Toyota shifter, it feels almost like a semi-truck where it's really kind of high for my liking. I'd rather have it a little lower. So 2 inches lower would make it in the perfect position, ergonomically, I think, for me. So I'm not gonna weld that 2-inch extension piece, make the shifter back up high like a semi-truck. I'm not gonna do that. I like it nice and little, right in between, lower. 2 inches lower is perfect. Ergonomically, it is freaking perfect. I wish Toyota had did that from the very beginning. Here's where the problem is, the next step. Okay, on page 22, step number 20. Now they're talking about the steering shaft. Okay. Replace the brake line. Okay, I did that. Okay, so here we go. You see that? Now they want you to put that steering shaft in. If I had did that during the body lift process, I would have definitely screwed everything up. If I had put that spacer in during the process when I was lifting the body, that would have stretched the hell out of that freaking thing and it would have destroyed something. I guarantee it. Well, not guarantee, but I'm not willing to take that risk. So skip that step. Now I did unhook the radiator. There are some hooks here. There was a hook there and a hook on the other side. Using the rubber grommet, the core tab. Okay, now I need to find the 2-inch radiator. So we're gonna drop down the radiator, whatever. Okay, so let me go look for those brackets. I did see it in the back, and it seems like we're gonna use the plate to space down the top of the shroud. Okay. I believe these are the brackets they want you to use. One of these, along with, this is the bracket for the shroud. Because it's been sitting for a year at my house and it did get wet. Damn rust. I gotta sand and paint all this. So let me sand and paint everything. I'll be right back. And then I can start getting on the brackets. So I'll be back again. So the next step is to get the brackets for the radiator. I made a mistake in my confusion, in my rush. Let me show you guys the mistake I made and how I corrected it. Alright, so if we go back to the instructions in the not very beginning, but earlier for the parking brake, here it says to use 3-inch width stud. That is this one, the 3-inch with the stud. I grabbed the 2-inch with the stud by accident. So I had to go underneath the truck, swap them out. This is the driver's side and this is the passenger side. They both say to use a 3-inch. However, on the passenger side, the 3-inch would make it was just binding the parking brake very, very long. So what I decided to do was take the 3-inch, re-drill a hole at about 2 3/4 inch. So I marked it, drilled it. Now I'm gonna put it underneath the truck, and that's because I need the 2-inch brackets with studs for the radiator. Let me see, here we go. So the actual next step that I'm on is this one, where you gotta, there's a little tab here, and that tab is on the radiator itself. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's that little ding ding thing in here. I can't get to it, but it's right there. Anyway, instead of cutting it off, I am going to just bend it. I want to be able to put the truck back to stock, like I said. So you need the actual 2-inch brackets for the radiator. The 2-inch one, see, it's gonna go like that, drop down. So that's for the left side, that's for the right side, and then I'll get on that piece next. So let me grab the 2-inch brackets, and then you'd place the 2-inch, this is a 3, but you'd place the 2-inch brackets here, and for the top and bottom, right there, see the bottom one? 2-inch brackets would go like this, like that. All right, let me take care of all that. I'll be back again. Oh yeah, one more thing I forgot to add. For the 2016s and up, there's a bracket with wires that's going into the cab. This cover plate was here. It's super windy again, sorry. This cover plate was here. Sorry, you gotta put up with the wind. I took it off. Oh, freaking wind, holy crap. Anyway, there's a little, oh, there it is, that. This clip was clipped on here, but you gotta disconnect that clip and let the whole thing move. I'm not gonna waste time clipping it back. Oh, the back one I can. There you go. The front one you cannot. That would be too much tension. So just do that. Just clip the rear one on and put the cover back on. Don't forget to do that step in the very, very beginning. Okay, another slight little issue that you guys probably should know about. So I put the 2-inch brackets on like how the instructions said. This is the lower. I didn't tighten it yet. This is the driver's side lower. And the upper looks like that. I don't know if you can see that gap, but there is a space. So what I'm gonna do is, I have a whole bunch of washers that I had. It looks pretty nice and pretty clean. I need to take about maybe 3 or 4 of those washers, put them there, and that'll space it out correctly. If not, it's gonna be bending on the tab and just looks ugly. So while I do that, the next step, I did not paint the radiator bracket that I wanted to. So this is the next step after I do those 4 tabs. I'll show you what the next step is. Okay, so you're gonna take a 1/4 inch by 1 inch nut and bolt that together, and that is Okay, after all this, that's the brackets. Here, this step. So you connect those two, and then you put them in place. You put the whole bracket in place of where the old original one would have gone. So, with the tabs facing forward, it's gonna sit like this. The company did give you 4 of these guys. So you take 4 of these, push them in, and the stock push pins get pushed into the top. So let me take care of all that stuff and I'll be right back again. Okay, so I've gotten the top radiator, whatever thing you want to call this. And here's what I did. I used the factory bolts, factory push pin things here. I use theirs here, so that takes care of that. Now let me see what's next to do on the instructions, and everything else came out good. The brackets, that one, there you went in there. All right, let's see what we got to do next. So I did all the brackets. I put the radiator block thingy on. Put the factory plate on. Factory cover is on. Yes, I did that. Push pin, that's it there. Oh, now I got to put back the bracket that I took off from the alternator. Put back all the brackets. Zip tie up the air vent thing. So all these guys here that I had loosened earlier. This guy here that I had loosened, put that on. This one here, the engine that I took that one off. Yeah. Oh, you know what would be good? If I can disassemble this thing. So let me see if I can take this off somehow. I'm gonna flip it upside down. That would work even better. Ha. Okay, so let me do all that. Basically put everything together. Put back everything here. Put back everything there. Put back everything that I took off. The heater hose. Oh, and here's a good one. The reservoir that I had to unbolt. So this reservoir that's unbolted, I've got a plan for that one. Basically, they are saying to drain everything out, take off the 2 clamps, and you're gonna cut the power steering line in half and insert a spacer. I do not want to do that. So you drain it, you're gonna cut it. So I'm gonna do something different. Let me put all this back together and I'll be right back again. All right, so I put everything back together again. And now I promised, I told you guys how to do the power steering lines without cutting it. So here's what I did, and the power steering line is connected, the reservoir is connected, everything is perfect. And this is what I did. So in this corner there's going to be a bracket. This is holding the power steering line, and it's right here. So I just took it off. You took it off, and I unbolted the cooler lines. And here's the best part. Several months ago, I was at the hardware store and I saw these aluminum brackets. I thought, wow, that could come in useful one day. Today is that day. I'll take one out for you. Came in a pack of 2, 4, 6. There was about 5 different sizes, from really thin to really big. This looks like maybe close to 5/8 of an inch, and I did get longer M10 bolts anyway, so big deal. There you go, and that's how to do the power steering cooler lines. Everything works, and there's still a lot of slack. Okay, perfect. I am frying. The sun is burning my skin so badly. Oh my god. So anyway, let me see what's next on the paper. I'm going in the shade. Let's see what we got. Putting all that back. This is the instructions for the power steering reservoir. You're supposed to drain it, cut the lines. I showed you guys you do not have to cut the lines. This is for the 2-inch, so I don't know anything about the 3-inch body lift. You're gonna put the hose, extension hose on, clamp it down, and then put the power steering reservoir bolts back on. Flip that AC line, so you're just gonna flip it upside down, re-bolt it on. That's it. Put everything back on, all the AC lines. And then the what's this? Automatic trans, not for me. Throw that away. Put back the airbox. Radiator, cut the holes. Nope, I don't have to cut any hoses. Sorry. Oh, and then we put the, what is this? Oh, power steering relocator. Oh, they do give you something to relocate it with. All right, let me go back to the parts pile that I have. I'll check it out, and then the very last thing is to do the bumper bracket relocator. So let me go check out this power steering relocating bracket that they have. It's a 2-inch with stud. I'm not sure if I had an extra one. I really don't think so. Let me go check. I'll be right back. I also looked in the engine bay, and the instructions are for 2015. It says for 2016, but the 2015s, I don't have this. My airbox is not offset like that. It says to use the other Z bracket. I have no idea why. Well, for mine, it doesn't look like that. AC line, nope, does not look like that either. So I guess that's good for me. What is this? V6 models install the airbox engine with 2 clips. Okay, four cylinder. Nope, not me. And like I said, this is from the front of the vehicle for automatic transmissions. Skip this, automatic, skip this, automatic, skip that. Power steering cooler, we did that. I did not have, it says to install kit 2-inch bracket with stud. I did not have that in my kit. So if this was for a 2015, maybe it's a different part number for the 2015s. The 2016s does not have all these things. I don't need all this. I don't even have it. So I don't know what to do next. Oh, here we go. I guess we're gonna put on the front bumper bracket. Apply small amount of Loctite to the 6 factory studs and installation kit. All right, so I need to figure out which way the factory, which way it goes. You can orientate it up or orientate it down. So let me go figure out which is the correct way. And yeah, let me go figure it out. I'll be right back. All right, new issue. I got a major problem. Now normally, well, this is how it goes anyway for the 2 brackets for the bumper. I will need to figure out what I'm gonna do for the front light bar. There are no provisions for the front light bar. That's the least of my worries. The major issue I have now, the front bumper, this That part is supposed to connect with the front, the actual bar that goes across. The bolts they supply are this. If you guys can tell from my previous from the pictures I posted as far as how to identify these bolts, this is a grade 5. I do have extra grade 8. Now again, I would rather have grade 10 or 12, but that's going to be pretty hard to find. I need to order that from a special fastener from Nuts and Bolts Hawaii or one of those. But I am going to go back to the hardware store now, exchange these grade 5s that came in the kit, and I'm going to put my own grade 8 zinc coated. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to grab a whole bunch of extra nuts and bolts just because it's always good to have these things. After that, I think that's it. I can start putting the front fascia bumper cover on. Then I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with the bracket. So back to the hardware store. I'm gonna grab a whole bunch of grade 8 nuts and bolts and lock washers along with this. This project is gonna drag on even longer. All right, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back from the store. I noticed a couple of things. I tried to fit the bumper up and it was hitting. Now, you guys saw earlier, I did put the aluminum spacers. The kit is supposed to come with a bracket to position the cooler inwards, to move it in maybe an inch or two. Mine did not come with that kit to push it in. So it's a good thing I had those spacers. Originally, I only had one, but when I put the bumper thing up there, it was hitting the cooler lines. So what I had to do was put another spacer, which is why I now have 2 spacers and a longer bolt. So it's a good thing I had extra bolts like that. I did go to the bolt store. So it's a good thing I did go to the hardware store to grab a whole bunch of nuts and bolts. All grade 8 fasteners. I got a whole bunch, different sizes, different lengths, with lock washers, without the nylon lock washers, but I'm going to use the ones with the lock nylon washers. I also went from, the kit came with 3/8 grade 5. I now have grade 8. And I stepped it up to about a 1/2 inch size bolt. So you can see the bolt is barely fitting in the opening. It's super tight, so I think it's gonna be really good. Here. All right, here we go. Everything is super tight. It fits the hole a lot better. And I also had to cut, this is the bumper. Right there. So there was a little triangle piece that came here. I had to just cut right there. Supposedly the kit is for a 2016 to 2023. I don't know. Who knows? But that is why I'm going through all the headache, the hassles, in hopes that someone will learn from my mistakes or get some ideas from what I'm doing and find a better way, or decide if you want to do this or not. So far, you guys can. If I can do this, so can you. There's not, you know, it doesn't take much special kind of tools. As long as you have a brain and can look at things and figure things out, and if you can notice, hey, something doesn't look right, there has to be another way. If you can think of that kind of mind frame, then you should do good. So the next step is to get this bumper on. After I get the bumper on, I think I can start fitting the front bumper cover. And that should be it for this part. And then I need to finish up the fuel filler, the gas cap, the line. I need to do that and raise the rear bumper. So I got a whole bunch of stuff more. Let me see how much it takes to fight to get this bumper on. And again, I'll be back in a little bit after I fight with this thing. All right, see you guys in a little bit. All right, so the bumper's on. I may have to do a little tweaking to some of these things. I did have to cut the fender trim. And now I can try to put the fender trim back on, I guess. Okay, I guess the front bumper cover is ready to go on, so let me go and get it. All right, everything seems to line up. I'm just gonna put all those little push tabs in, and that should be it. So let me finish that, and I'll be back again. Change of plan once again. You remember the light bar, the light bar that's in the front? I need to figure out how I'm going to make that bracket work. There is no right or wrong way. There is no kit. This is gonna be totally up to you guys. So I have some extra piece of aluminum laying around. I'm gonna figure out how I need to bend it, cut it, make some holes, do whatever it takes. I can't tell you what to do because everyone's gonna be different. So I'm gonna figure out what to do with mine, beat my head a little, have a drink, and it'll come to me. So I'll be back again. New plan again. You saw me put the bumper cover on. I had to take it off, and I'll show you why. Come on, focus. The power steering, even though it was that high up in the air, was still hitting. And I don't have enough bolts to make this thing like super high in air like that. That would be retarded. So what I'm gonna do is, I have this piece of aluminum. I'm gonna cut a little 2-inch section out. I'm gonna take this flat piece of aluminum, cut a little 2-inch section, drill 2 holes. Then I can mount this thing further in the way it was supposed to have been. And if it just moves in 2 inches or 1 inch, I am good. I could technically put it up like that, but that means I would have to put a giant spacer, and that's not something I want to do. As far as the light bar, I figured something out for this. So it attaches here, that's fine. It's not nut and bolted in. Down in here, I need to make a flat piece of aluminum, again, a bracket, that's gonna go in back of it. And it's gonna bolt from the back to the underneath here. It's gonna look like that. See, just like that. Ouch. It's gonna look something like that. Sandwiching up here, just like that. Okay, so I have a lot of work for me today. Well, right now I'll probably do this for a little while more. I'm gonna cut my 2 sections out of this, drill the holes, bolt it in. There's a ton of extra nuts and bolts because I have a manual transmission, not an automatic transmission. And the kit was actually designed for a 2015. That's what I believe. It said on the instructions 2016 to 2023, but that is not coming out in such a manner. So this is custom. Just remember, if you're gonna do this, you may run into these kinds of issues. So let me finish all this, and I will show you guys the finished product. I'll be back again. Holy cows. Okay, it is 6 o'clock in the evening. It's been a hell of a day. I am fried, literally fried. My skin is cooked. I'm done. I'm gonna have skin cancer by the end of this project. Anyway, damn, I'm good. Let me show you guys the bracket that I made. Huh? How's that? Wow. Okay, I did come up with an idea for the light mounting system. I'm cutting those up and making some brackets out of those also. I am freaking tired. I did not eat one single thing today. I'm dead. So this is part 4. Tomorrow will be part 5. I've been on this thing all week by myself. So I'm sure you guys can do this too. Mentally, it is draining. And it's a good thing I have good friends like Shane to talk to, who can keep you on the right track, keep your head on, and basically keep you alive. All right, so I'm done for tonight. I'll see you guys tomorrow on part 5. Thanks everybody for sticking around. I'll see you again.